more content for your mom. But I still can't. I want to hear what it is that says, well, let me do this myself. Let me be the one making these audiobooks, Why? Because you could just have continued getting different books for her to read, but you decided to do the thing yourself.
Yes. So part of that was, okay, so listening to these audiobooks, which I loved listening to, all the stories were Western European stories and publishers. African books, very few and far between. And then when the African books started appearing on the internet, a lot of them were voiced by either Africans living in the UK or US, or Americans or Europeans would voice them because the books had been published there. And so we'd be listening to the books. It wouldn't sound authentic. It wasn't told in our own, storytelling style. And so it just wasn't as engaging. And I thought, oh, hey, we come from a storytelling tradition. We love storytelling. Storytelling should be authentic. We've got wonderful, beautiful voices. Why don't we do it ourselves? And so that's how I decided to jump in and do it myself. I love books. I happen to be at the University of Ghana. There's a wonderful school of performing arts there. And I thought, okay, there's voice talent right there. Let's get something started.
I do remember the first book that you published as an audiobook, and that is Kinky Forever. It was originally published by Dakpabli and Associates. But I actually didn't know that was the first book you had put out. You had a reading here, and I think that one of the voice actresses actually graced the occasion as well. You've mentioned the authenticity of the voice. Tell me how important that is, and how do you match a voice to a character? When you are preparing to publish an audiobook.
Okay, yeah. So voice is so important. We have such a wide variety of accents, dialogues, intonations, storytelling styles, unique ones to Africa, really wonderful. And so it's, I think, the potential there to just even showcase what Africa has, and to even discover and understand what we have ourselves is great. So when I pick a book, we kind of do a casting call. I always think it's so important about the authenticity of the story. So we pick narrators who enjoy reading, who are not biased. They're storytellers. They just get into the story, interpret the characters to the best of their ability, and just make the story a wonderful experience. In Africa, we're just a little bit more dramatic. It was really interesting. In the Western style of audiobook delivery is a little bit more subtle, not as vibrant as our culture is. I always laugh when I'm listening to the news sometimes, especially in Cree on Peace FM. It's like really noisy and loud. It's almost like, is this news or is it, but that's our style. We tell stories in a very passionate way. And I felt that would be really exciting to bring some of that into it. And so started that experimenting by calling actors from film and theater, and just putting them in front of books and seeing how it goes, Has been a bit of a learning curve. A lot of actors that I've used, for many of them, it was their first audiobook. They'd never, engaged with a text for that long, because acting is quite different. Scripts are quite short and all that. So it was a bit of a learning curve. They had to learn how to be in the studio. We had to also learn how to get sound engineers who are used to working with voice only and making a voice sound really wonderful. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's not been as easy as I thought. We've had more success, interesting enough, from female narrators than the male narrators. And I think it boils down to a lot of people are not reading. So when you step into the studio, it doesn't come fluently. And we spend a lot of studio time. And so then the costs go up, you know. We've also been doing books, not just for Arco Books, but we've been doing audiobooks for Western publishers, Hachette Audio, HarperCollins, because now they want authentic voices telling the stories. So that's been quite interesting. A lot of last year, we've been making books for other publishers, audiobook publishers as well.
Well, I was going to ask a bit about what your perspective is if you think about